Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton were in the midst of a bitter rivalry in 2009. This Sunday, a decade later, Kingston and Orton reignite that rivalry at SummerSlam. Let's look at the rivalries that were renewed 10 years after they began. Brock Lesnar's rise to stardom in 2002 saw him dominate everyone in his path, but The Undertaker wanted to teach the next big thing about respect. Undertaker showed Lesnar the business model for Dead Man Inc., which included throwing Brock through the set at Unforgiven, as well as a gory Hell in a Cell match at No Mercy. Lesnar might not have stood tall, but he left with the WWE title every time, giving him an advantage over the Dead Man no other superstar could claim. Fast forward to 2014, Lesnar wanted history to conquer, so The Undertaker, owner of a 21-match winning streak at WrestleMania, stepped up. But Lesnar shocked the world at WrestleMania 30, ending the streak with 3 F5s and leaving millions of jaws on the floor. Their battles continued in 2015, including a controversial SummerSlam match and a Hell in a Cell match in which the rivals literally tore apart the ring. When Triple H assembled Evolution, its purpose was to keep the World Heavyweight title around his waist. But the biggest threat ended up being within the group. After Batista won the 2005 Royal Rumble match, the Cerebral Assassin did everything possible to convince the Animal to challenge for JBL's WWE Championship instead of his big gold title. Batista saw through the manipulation. During their vicious rivalry from WrestleMania 21 through the summer of 2005, Batista proved that he was no longer a star on the rise, he was the guy. 14 years later, all Batista wanted was one more match against the man who turned him into a star. It took Batista beating up a 70-year-old Ric Flair to catch Triple H's attention, but it ultimately worked, and the game gave Batista what he wanted, setting the stage for a no-holds-barred match at WrestleMania 35, which saw Triple H finally defeat his former student. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker were embroiled in a bitter rivalry in late 1997 that included the first Hell in a Cell match in an unforgettable casket match at Royal Rumble 1998. But then The Undertaker turned his attention to Kane, who set him on fire after the casket match. And Michaels set his eyes on his first retirement after Mike Tyson KO'd him at WrestleMania 14. Let's move to 2007's Royal Rumble match, when the Dead Man and HBK were the last men standing and caused the arena to buzz like a hive. 2 years later, Mr. WrestleMania promptly re-sparked this rivalry with The Undertaker in hopes of ending his then 16-bout WrestleMania streak. Once they entered the ring at the 25th show of shows, HBK and the Phenom proved they hadn't lost a step in the 11 years since their last one-on-one showdown, causing many to consider that match one of the greatest contests ever held in a 20-by-20 ring. In 1997, WWE Champion Bret Hart signed a contract with WCW. But before Bret stampeded to the rival company, he had to defend his title against Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series. The match was an instant classic, but then Michaels put the Hitman in the sharpshooter and all hell broke loose. Hart didn't tap, the bell randomly rang, Michaels ran off with the title, and Hart spit at the chairman. A Bret screwed Bret in black eye later, Mr. McMahon was the most despised person in sports entertainment, and the Hitman was a guest referee for WCW. It seemed unlikely that Hart would step inside a WWE ring ever again. But then on the first Raw of 2010, he returned, reconciling with Michaels. An attempt to make peace with Mr. McMahon ended with a low blow. After Hart faked a broken leg, he finally got a match against the chairman at WrestleMania 26, getting 13 years worth of sweet retribution. Goldberg and Brock Lesnar had a few tense encounters before Lesnar helped cost Goldberg the 2004 Royal Rumble match. So Goldberg responded by costing Lesnar the WWE Championship. At WrestleMania 20, the two monsters, who were both on their way out of the company, had a match in front of a chorus of jeers. Lesnar eventually returned, and Goldberg showed no signs of a comeback until 2016, when the Beast Incarnate issued a formal challenge for Survivor Series. Goldberg made short work of Lesnar that night to the tune of 1 minute and 26 seconds. The one-off match sparked a full-on return for Goldberg that included a Universal Championship reign. With the title around Goldberg's waist and Lesnar still seeking a win over the rival, the Beast demanded a title bout at WrestleMania 33, which saw Lesnar finally get the victory that eluded his illustrious career. That's our list. Do you have any rivals to add? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching List This.